Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the live stream. Make sure my audio is good. Should be okay. Just had the US Open coming in. So I see a little bit of that dollar strength coming back in on the Open. We've got some data coming up in a little bit, which we'll go through. Hope everybody is well. Let me just turn that music down a little. Okay. Right then. So back with the live streams. I was in a position at euro dollar long. It did just stop me out at break even. I had taken some partial profits. It looks like it's going again, which is unfortunate. Just going to have a little look here. Hey, Justin. Thank you. Glad to be back. I say glad to be back. I was in the south of France, which was really nice. So I shouldn't really say that, really. But nice to be back in front of the setup, I must admit. Hope you're doing well too. We're going to go through some of what's going on in the US. Obviously, bond yields have been rallying quite heavily. That's why we're seeing a lot of dollar strength at the moment. We had some interesting ISM manufacturing PMI data yesterday as well, coming in at 49. Not above the 50 level, but it's in that sort of upward trajectory at the moment, which is suggesting that if we do peak above that 50, then you know, there's a chance that the economy is growing again, which then obviously could lead to a stickier inflation. Is that what the Fed really wants? We have to kind of weigh that up. The Fed have talked about hiking again, and I think they're going to have to. But we will see. I think Federal Reserve Chairman Powell thinks that they're pretty much done. I think we had a talk yesterday from the FMC member, Mester, was it? And we saw a pretty hawkish stance from him. So yeah, we're kind of getting a bit of mixed messages out of the Federal Reserve members at the moment. And looking at the data, if it does continue to come out stronger, then you know there could be a real good potential for another sort of hike to come. I'm just going to edit the layout of the. Try and see if I can make it a little bit bigger. See if that helps at all. But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting day today. Just eyeing up a little bit of what the euro dollar or the euro futures are doing at the moment. I can just see that we've come back into the VWAP and rejecting. So wondering if we're going to get that continuation of that dollar strength is what I'm looking at. Obviously, we've got JOLT job openings coming up. Let me just zoom into this a little bit. Got the US JOLTS job openings Forecast coming in at 8.81, a little bit lower than previous at 8.83, only very marginally lower. Whether that does come in lower, again, is going to be something of interest. If we see actually miss expectations there and grow, then there could be a good chance that we're going to see a some further US dollar strength, which we already have, and it's largely driven up by those bond yields. If I can just bring up the US 10-year. What we looked at in yesterday's video was the fact that the US 10-year has now breached the 4.5% level. It's actually quite visible on this monthly chart. That breach there suggests that we could probably see price trade a little bit higher, and we've got that sort of 5% area now. 5% would be really significant. I feel that would cause a lot of US dollar strength in the markets, and a breach above that would be very, very interesting. We haven't seen these highs since 2007, so we'll see what happens here. But that is the sort of why the dollar sort of moved so aggressively recently, is because we've kind of breached through that high there. Good afternoon, Vincent. I'm doing really well, thank you. Hope you are good too. Let's go check out that US dollar index then. So it looks like it's playing out kind of as we anticipated, with the break at this 106 level. Fundamentally, the drivers behind the dollar at the moment is just so strong. I just didn't see any kind of significant turnaround. You've always got to be a little bit cautious when a price does begin to make a new high. You can see here, obviously, we traded above that high. And there's always this kind of like an air of caution around that, because if we were to see just a significant unloading of the US dollar, then, obviously we could have seen a bit of a turnaround in here. But that hasn't happened. Fundamentals still very, very strong at the moment, and price has continued to drive to the upside. And we're heading towards the 108 handle, which were these highs back here, which formed on the 21st of November 2022, the highs of that week. So very interesting developments coming at the moment. I can just see that actually that we are starting to see a little bit of a drawback in the dollar at the moment, starting to see a little bit of a push higher. It'd be interesting to see if that can continue, because we are at a really significant sort of point in terms of when I'm looking at sort of the euro in particular. Let's just have a quick look. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at a different screen at the moment, just seeing how the sort of the market's shaping up on the futures. Whether we'll see another little drive higher here. Just to give you a little idea of what I'm looking at. Just watching the futures at the moment. Seeing that we've got this little bit of a imbalance here. So I'm just having a little nose at that just to see what the price is doing. Still kind of sticking below the days of VWAP there on the euro futures. So I'm just looking. But if we just go take a look at euro US dollar, we can see obviously we're very bearish this market. This market is really kind of struggling to make any sort of grounds. That doesn't mean that price obviously can't trade back to the upside in the short term. So if we look at the 5-minute chart at the moment, you can see that I've got the sort of data on here at the moment, the volume for today. What I'm really interested in is seeing volume trade higher. So let me just go back to an hourly, and I'll just zoom in. Might even have to be better to be on a 30-minute chart. So you can see I've got the session volume profiles on here. So when I'm looking to sort of trade, especially when I'm looking at the futures market, I'm looking at volume levels. The easiest way I can show you that is by obviously showing you here on sort of trading view. But you can see these large pockets of volume through there. We obviously came and retested a large pocket of volume in the London session. The market has traded lower, US opening down at these lows. Now, what we can often see is the price kind of come back and look to test another sort of volume point. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. Can we come and retest sort of London highs? If we trade through London highs, we may pull a little bit higher. The reason why I'm expecting that kind of move at the moment is because we have been moving aggressively lower, especially yesterday. We can see very aggressive downward move, closing below the 1.0500, which is great if you're sort of a long-term swing trader looking for that sort of bearish move. But I'm looking at this as a sort of medium-term swing trader, and I'm thinking, where do I want to get short in this market? I definitely don't want to get short down in this area here, because the risk-reward ratio, although it's still good down to the next level of support, which is down here, I don't want to get short at the lows. I want to get short near the highs. So I either want to be short towards the 1.05 handle, where you can see there's those highs there, or even higher. If I can get anywhere near sort of this level at the 1.0564 with stops above the highs, then I've got a larger risk reward ratio to play with from a swing trading perspective. So that's what I'm kind of eyeing up there at this current moment in time, just to see if we can get that little bit of a push higher. I have sort of just re-entered along there, so we will see how that one does play out. Sorry, right, let me get back into it. I'm too busy looking at the futures market there on the open, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. If I just bring in a fixed range tool, we go from the swing highs to the current levels. Look at that point of control all the way up at around about the 1.0575. So, if I want to be a seller in this particular market, I wouldn't mind seeing a move up to that point and then a continuation. Does it mean that's going to happen? Absolutely not, because the dollar's so aggressively strong at the minute. That kind of pullback would be, I think, a little bit too out of the question. I don't think we'd probably get a deeper retracement like that. If anything, I'd be more worried if we did get a deeper retracement like that. That's why I'm kind of looking. You can see there's other sort of volume levels through there. Obviously, yesterday's volume level around about the 1.05 looks pretty good. But I think to any kind of chances here for any kind of shorts, I think we're going to have to look at the sort of lower time frames to kind of get any decent reward to risk. I wouldn't even mind seeing price come up to this sort of low volume pocket and reject that. So even if we came up to about that 1.0540, that also looks pretty good to me for opportunities, because it's going to be a difficult one to try and get that pullback. I don't think we will get that. That may change in 15 minutes. I may have said that, and in 15 minutes we may see the Jolts job openings come in much, much lower, and then the dollar weaken off the back of it, and we do get that push up. So, there is that other side to it as well. But yeah, euro starting to really push back to the upside there. So yeah, managed to do all right on euro today. Let me just show you here. So that was that imbalance I was talking about, potentially getting long from. You can see that we started to rally up to the upside from that now. That buying imbalance is showing us that there's large sort of buying going on here. And yeah, we've seen that move higher. You can see here on the Renko charts as well, we've had a bit of a balanced day. Now a balanced day is usually basically a range, right? So you can see that we've got the range highs here, range lows. And if we have a little look at it on here, let me just go to an hourly chart, maybe even a 30-minute chart, probably best show you that. You can see here on this 30-minute time frame, let me clear all these drawings off, that today price has literally just gone sideways. Okay. Now on balanced days are really good. You want to be looking to trade from the low to the high. So that's what I was basically kind of looking to do there on euro. Trade down from these lows back into the high there. If we breach, then obviously we go and look for those levels of volume, which is, like I was saying, that sort of low volume pocket would be quite good to see back up that level. If we don't breach and we hold here, we get a rejection, then price might try and push back down to the lows there. And then obviously if we the dominant trend at the moment is down, isn't it? So, if we do see some strong selling coming in here, that could be a bit of an area of interest for us. So I will keep an eye on the futures market here. I will have a little look at the volumes and the sort of footprint charts and see if we do get any kind of large volumes towards these swing highs here. And if we do get a rejection, I can show you that. At the moment, we are getting a little bit of large volume going on, but nothing that I would say suggests too much of a turning point at this moment in time. So I will just keep a little bit of an eye on that for you. Looking at sort of the outlook for the rest of the week, though, we've obviously got NFP reports coming up. We've got ADP non-farm employment change tomorrow with ISM services PMIs. That's going to be a bit crucial to see how that NFP data could be interpreted by the end of the week. So, yeah, it's all basically dollar dominant, though, at the moment, isn't it? The dollar is the currency of hot topic, and it's hard to really try and pick another currency to look at. The only other line I really liked was the Japanese yen. So if we go and take a look at dollar yen, we are fastly approaching the 150 handle. Let's just have a look at today's high. Today's high is 149.97. So we haven't quite tested that 150, but I would love to see the reaction here at this 150 handle. I'd like to see if price does really start to ramp up from there. Do we start seeing large sort of sellers coming in at this moment, and then do we see some kind of yen strength coming in? 150 I think is quite an anticipated number. I was watching Bloomberg this morning and they were very much highlighting this 150 level as a point of interest, but I think anywhere between that sort of 150 and 152 level, is a good level to look out for. But we're at that point now. It's getting quite crucial with yen. So that's why I was kind of looking around, seeing if there was any kind of yen opportunities. The only one I really liked the look of was CAD yen. CAD yen rejecting previous highs in here around about that 110 handle, 110.20s. Look at that weekly close. If I just zoom in, look at that weekly close. It was a very aggressive bit of price action. We tried to close above those weekly levels of resistance. We just couldn't do it. Price just could not hold there. We've now back below it, and this week we've already seen a decent move down. So I'm looking to see if that yen strength does step in. What are we going to trade it against, essentially? And I quite like the idea of seeing CAD come lower. The only reason I like that is because GDP figures missed last week. And obviously, CAD had been fairly strong before that. Oil was fairly strong. Oil has now topped a little bit around that $92 level that we pointed out recently. So you've got sort of other external factors which could help drive CAD yen lower. So I'm very, very interested in a move down and perhaps into this 108 level. If I show you on the daily chart, you can see this 108 level has been seriously tested over recent times. All that little area in there been tested quite aggressively. So if we were going to see a deeper retracement, that 108 handle I feel could be a pretty important one. Does that make sense so far, guys? Morning, Roy Guy. Hope you're doing well. If you are enjoying the stream so far, please leave it a like. Let me know what you're trading as well. Let me know what type of markets you're interested in this week. Like I've shown you, I quite like the my sort of day trading setup is Euro futures. So we're looking at that at the open, and we've seen a continuation of the upside there. So that's quite nice to see. So yeah, let me know what you guys are trading as well. We'll go take a look at a lot of the dollar affected pairs, or at least the dollar correlated pairs. We'll go take a look at gold as well in a little bit. But yeah, I think the market's favoring a little bit of this yen at the moment. If we take a look across the board, dollar yen's the only one that's up. We've got Aussie yen that's down. rejecting this sort of 95.80, rejected those channel highs. We've got CAD yen down, Euro yen slightly up, but I mean, look at the range on Euro yen. That's just two currencies that are weak, you know, going sideways. Obviously, a breakdown of this consolidation would be really interesting because we could see 153 tested again. Pound yen's a little bit up on the day, was down yesterday. We are trading at these lows though, so it might just be a little bit of a rebound from those lows. Kiwi yen, very interesting as well because we've broken down from this level. So lots of yen pairs, but we'll go and dissect those down in a little bit. We're going to go focus on a few of the major currencies. I'm going to have a flick over to cable as well. Cable market I am quite interested in too because of some of the sort of volume levels that we've seen coming being tested at this moment. Sorry. Hi, just nothing. Hope you're doing well. Raw guy, I was in Aussie US dollar and Euros dollar. They hit my TP. Now I'm looking at dollar CAD and Euro Swiss. Nice. I quite like dollar CAD actually. We'll go take a look at dollar CAD shortly. But yeah, Aussie US dollar, Euro US dollar. Still good markets to look out for. I'm just looking at Euro futures again. Seeing if we're getting a little bit of a top. I can see that we've had quite a lot of volume come in. I would like it to be a little bit higher though. I'd like it to be more towards those sort of London highs before really kind of eyeing up anything there. I'll wait and see. Might get some selling imbalances and things like that we could look for. Yeah, so cable came into that one spot 2050. We've rejected that. We're starting to see a little bit of upside, but we need to see this, right? We need to see these pullbacks. If the long-term trend is going to be bearish and we're going to see that continuation down, yeah, we need to see these pullbacks because they kind of give those swing traders or those larger players other swing trading opportunities to get in and add some positions. So if we were expecting dollar strength to continue to the 108s, then, you know, I like the idea of cable moving lower. I've marked out this little zone here. It's around about the 1 spot 21 sort of 50 area. The reason why I've marked out that is because we've had this consolidation. Price pretty much ignored it on the way down, so I'm looking to see if maybe it will test it on the other side. If I actually just grab in that fixed range tool, we'll go from the swing highs to the swing lows. You can see here point of control around about that 121.44, 121.45. So that's what I'm kind of eyeing up there on cable. If we can get a bit of a pullback into that level, even the value area low 121.15s would be ideal. I'll set an alert there. Let's just go have a little look at the session ones, see if there's any kind of confluence with that level on the sessions. So yesterday's value area low is looking to be around 121.35, but I can see we do have that sort of pocket of sort of volume. So you can see low volume coming in there, then we got a pickup in volume, low volume, pick up in volume again, and we get low volume. So the way I like to look at these are sort of like these little shelves essentially of resistance. So if we were to reach this level here and we started to see some aggressive selling coming in, we could look for that continuation. Obviously we've got a value area low as well, so pretty much that zone could be something to eye up going forward. And if it comes into that zone, we could see, obviously, like I said, that breakdown. If we breach that zone, then we look for the next levels, right? We look at these kind of ledges up here and even the point of control, which sits around just under that 122. So, yeah, quite like cable downside, just waiting to see if we can, like I said, get that retracement. We need that retracement. Otherwise, we're going to just, you know, trade within a consolidation. And although consolidations can be quite interesting to trade because you've got clear levels of support and resistance, I just want to see a deeper retracement coming, to be honest. I want to see a deeper retracement so we can look at a bit of a longer term move. Same with Aussie, really. We've come up into the 0 spot 63 support now. Aussie US dollar coming into those lows there on the 4th of November. 2022. Having a little rejection here. Nice resistance up at the 0.65 that we rejected on Friday. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that one can break down as well. Aussie obviously suffering a little bit with that China data, which came out a little bit poorer. We have a little look here. Let's see. Why is it not showing up here? Let me just apply the filters there. Here you go. CACs in manufacturing PMIs came in lower than forecast. So you got the 50.6. Services PMI came in at 50.2, below the 52 forecast, below previous of 51.8. So Aussie's suffering a little bit from that. We also obviously had RBA rate statement and cash rate held at 4.1%. So yeah, Aussie definitely feeling the sort of pinch from that. What about gold? Yeah, we'll go take a look at gold. Euro Oz. Vincent wants us to take a look at Euro Oz. Let's go take a look at dollar CAD first. We do dollar CAD, Euro Oz, gold, and then we'll come back to some other charts of interest. So dollar CAD was definitely an interesting market to me. Last week we had that GDP figure came out on Friday. Very bullish turnaround from this market. We almost retested the 134 lows again. Didn't quite get there. Let me just change the viewpoint. Sorry, guys. So there you go. We didn't quite make it to that point there, and we rejected that trend line. Well, at the moment we're rejecting that trend line resistance and the highs at 137. So there could be a little bit of a false breakout going on here, which could obviously influence a little bit of downside pressure. But from the sort of overall market landscape here, you know, we're kind of rejecting from the range low at 130, 120. Range highs start to come in around about the 138.50. If we did see a breach of this trend line resistance, if we did see a close above, let's say we did get that close above, I think that would be quite an interesting look at to see if we were to come into the sort of the 1.38.50 handle, which was the sort of highs back in March. So dollar CAD definitely on my radar. Either that or we're going to look for a bit of a pullback. We've got this trend line support coming through here around about the 135.50s. I've actually put an alert around about 136. The reason why I've done that is because of the sort of 4-hour time frame. If you look here, we just had a little bit of a pause before seeing that continuation. So really speaking, around about this level here is where I'm interested in a little bit of a move. But we're going to have to see how price reacts here first, because it needs to drop 100 pips before I even consider looking at that for that sort of long position. So we'll sit on that one. We'll wait on that one. Euro Oz. I haven't actually looked at Euro Oz today, to be honest, or this week. Not one that's been particularly on my radar. I just saw two currencies that were getting weaker. So wasn't really something I was super interested in. I've got this trend line resistance in. I think from a weekly point of view, was it? We looked at it from a weekly, and we looked at the stochastic, the relationship of price and the stochastic, I think is what we were looking at prior, wasn't it? ATMR, yeah, EuroCAD, we'll add that to the list. Whoa. We're just seeing some big selling coming in. Data drops come out. Let's have a look. Whoa. We actually came in way above forecast. That's definitely dollar strength. All I saw on my volume screen, look at this. So looking at the footprint chart, I was just basically trying to look at, and this is where I said those volumes are starting to pick up. You can see volumes picking up right at that level of resistance. I said I wanted to see London high tested, and yeah, we haven't got that. So if I did end up going short here, that would have been a nice move to the downside. I would have pretty much caught the top of that. I was long here. I took off some contracts there, took off a little bit more there. I did get back in long here for a bit of a move higher as well. Exited at that point. But yeah, nice big move coming in there at the moment. Let's see how that's reflected on euro dollar. Yeah, we're really starting to push lower now. That's a shame. This was the high I was looking for. If we had had those volume levels in there, I think I would have looked for a little bit of a cheeky short from there. Just didn't quite get up to that point. But yeah, it looks like we're going to see that fuel of that US dollar strength come back into the market. Let's see how gold's been affected by that. Dollar CAD should be climbing back above that 137 level now. Where's gold? Here we go, gold. Yeah, gold has been suffering a lot lately, hasn't it? Traded through some key levels of support. I was looking to see if this volume level would hold. It didn't hold. The next level of support I had marked in was 18.15. That one has slightly held. But again, I'm kind of looking at prices of gold at the moment, thinking, you know, have we got an opportunity here for any kind of pullbacks? At the moment, we're just not seeing it. We're just not seeing it. I would like to see, obviously, a deeper retracement so that we can look for a move. You know, I'm kind of marked out this level through here, but don't really want to be getting short there right now. I want to see a couple of days of a bit of a relief rally. I was hoping those JOLTS job openings would be the reason why we would get a little bit of that relief rally, and then we could have looked at those resistance levels after that. Let's have a little look at sort of what volumes are saying. Yeah. So this is the kind of reason why I was looking at that zone through there. You can see I've marked it out. Around about $18.75. Large volume coming in there. Obviously, we had a bit of a breakout retest of it. Market drove to the downside. I was hoping we would get something similar. I was hoping we would get that drive back into there, see the continuation move, but because that's obviously a large area where sellers have got involved. So essentially, when we get these periods of consolidation after a move, you get a consolidation move. We know that sort of sellers have won the battle against the buyers here, because in that consolidation where we consider its fair value, we've then driven outside of that to the downside. So sellers have won. Are they going to defend these levels when price comes back to it? So when it comes back, do sellers jump back on the move again? Do they still think it's an opportunity to basically just add more, you know, get back involved because they're already short? That's what I was kind of looking for here on gold. Whether it will happen is a different question, but I do like the idea of price being more towards this 18.75 handle more than anything else, because that is obviously that key level of resistance. I'm going to set an alert. I'm going to set an alert around about 18.70. I want to see if price can get back to that level. The only other thing that we can probably wait for, because of that dollar strength, obviously, there might be a bit of a consolidation build up here, break through the 18.15 and then a retest. That could be the other sort of way we kind of interpret this move at the moment. See if we can get a little bit of a drive lower at that point. Just seeing a lot of buying coming back in on the euro futures at this moment. Whoops. I'll just show you that. Finished auction at the bottom as well. So might be a slight relief there. Might be a slight relief. Again, I'll just kind of keep that one around and about. Might just be getting buyers being absorbed though. Right, let's go take a look at oil. Oil, a very interesting market as well, because what I was watching the other day was price coming into our level of resistance. So we were looking to get long down through here, obviously, where all these arrows are. We were talking about getting long around about $79. This was mainly due to all that fundamental data that came out about the sort of cuts in production. So usually a cut in production means higher demand, and usually leads to higher prices, and that's what we had. Price traded through the $83 resistance. Our next level of resistance was up here at $92, and yeah, we're starting to struggle at that point now. But you can see the price action here. You know, if I was a seller, would I be confident in that price action? Absolutely not. You know, because when I'm selling, I want to see things like this with really strong bodies, candle bodies, you know, closing lower and things like that. We haven't really got that there at this moment in time. We've got sort of wicks to the downside. Every time we try and break lower, price is failing to do so. So I think if we get another sort of failed week this week, you know, we could even expect another move higher, perhaps even to the $100 level. Now, I did see something, JP Morgan expecting prices back down towards $70 on oil, on crude oil. So that's around about here. Let's just pop that in. So, you know, JP Morgan looking for price to come more down into that zone through there. Sorry, just put two lines on there. But we'll see. We'll see if that does happen or not. Obviously, the dollar strength could be a factor which pushes these prices down as well. It's just the way that that's kind of shaping up there is quite interesting. I did look at a little bit of a divergence play here. I didn't trade it, but I was looking at this divergence, obviously, because I was on holiday, so I didn't trade anything. But you got the higher high here. You got the lower high on the stochastic. Usually can be a good sign when you get a divergence between an indicator and price that the recent rally was not as strong. And yeah, we did see that's obviously that turnaround, but we'll have to wait and see. I think if price can hold above this $88 area, then we may still see a little bit of buying coming through. If it doesn't and we close below $88, then yeah, I would expect to pull back down towards 83, 84 for crude oil, but we'll have to just wait and see on that one. Let's go take a look at EuroCAD then. TMR's looking at EuroCAD. Are you long, short EuroCAD? What's your feelings on EuroCAD? We're seeing a lot of buying coming in on the Euro futures at the moment. Price not really moving higher though, which is a potential classic sign of absorption going on. Short. Okay, let's have a little look-see then. Let's go to the weekly chart, see how last week closed. I don't mind the idea of EuroCAD short. If anything, though, I'd say Euro's pretty weak, CAD's pretty weak. Euro's going to get slaughtered because of the bond yields in the US. CAD, on the other hand, we've just talked about it getting weaker. So when you've got two currencies that are weak, they can often just remain within a range. Now, that may not be a bad thing, considering this range is quite a large range here on this weekly chart. So, you know, that could be a 650 pip range, you know. Sorry, I'm just watching Euro futures rally. But yeah, look at that candle close. It's a little bit like the CAD yen close, right? When you got that sort of wick down, strong close towards the highs. I don't really feel like, you know, when I look at a chart, I want to be fairly confident of where I could expect it to go to. If I'm not fairly confident, then I'll just kind of walk away from it. But for me, we've obviously tested in some lows. Buyers have stepped in, and now we're consolidating. If I was going to be a seller of this market, you know, you want to see aggressive selling, and I don't see that. Let me see if there's any kind of other factors we can kind of discuss here. We've got price coming up into the VWAP again. We'll see if we get any kind of holds around there. It looks like buyers are just really pushing that price higher now. Wow, we're seeing some huge volumes. That's volume I haven't seen in a while. Let me just show you this. I know I keep kind of flicking back to it, but it's just because obviously it's good to show you sort of what's going on. That is a lot of volume. Window. Let me just... So you can see here, 8,000. It's getting climbing. So obviously we saw 8,152 there, minus 396 contracts. We saw that drop to the downside. This is where I was talking about. We're starting to get a build-up of buyers going on. We then saw buyers step back in. Now look at the volume that's coming in here. And it's at that 1.05 area, 1.0510. And all these imbalances. But that could climb up to sort of 10,000 here in volume. 9,600. Only 130 on the buy side, though. Super interesting, that. That's why I like looking at the futures contracts, futures markets. Just kind of give you a little bit of an insight there. But yeah, the way I'm looking at that, you know, we've had a large rally consolidation. It could be considered, you know, like a bit of a flag pattern. So, you know, I'd be warned. I think if you are interested in shorting this market, I'd want to see consolidation break lower, then look for the continuation, or, you know, I want price to stay below this trend line resistance through there. A break above that, I think we'd see a move up to the 145 handle for Euro CAD. Hopefully that made sense, guys. BOJ intervention. Did we get the 150? Oh, we did get the 150. Look at that. That's the volume, isn't it? You're absolutely right. I didn't realize we hit that 150 level. Lots of volume coming in there as well, isn't there? Could be, Rygo. Could be. Could be the BOJ intervention that we're seeing right now. Literally all it took was a spike into the 150. What's yen done across the board? Yeah, look at CAD yen now. Big move down. We've already hit that 108 level from what we were talking about earlier. Already into it. Wow. Let's see if that's been reported across anywhere. Have you seen that it's come out anywhere? Let me quickly just go to on the Bloomberg. Let's just see. Yeah, it's across the board. It's definitely, I think, a yen move. Yeah. Bloomberg reporting yen weakens past 150 per dollar as intervention concern mounts. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, there's no real headlines confirming it, but everyone's just basically suspecting that it is an intervention at the 150 handle. Well, isn't that interesting? Nice to see that's happened live on stream. What does that mean for us, though? You know, it means that 150 is being protected. So if you get another move into that 150, it could be another opportunity to see a little bit of a move to the downside. We did kind of talk about this in the week ahead analysis video. You know, that 150 level coming up was definitely a level of interest between 150 and 152 for me. Obviously, 150 seems to be that barrier. But be careful here because you might get another move. You know, you might get another spike back into it. You know, if I remember rightly, this was an intervention here back on the 22nd of September. See that sort of move there? Price then continued to rally higher, and then we got that sort of 151. So there still could be a chance that 152 is the play. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that looks like a good little area around about that 150. I know, Rygod, you talked about waiting for 150 to be tested. So hopefully you did have a little look at that move there. Yeah, big yen intervention. Look at Aussie yen, 1.6% down on the day. You know, if we have a little study of what happened last time we did get the intervention, look at the move that followed it, right? Right. Yeah, got the move. Nice one. Yeah, that move can still, you know, continue to the downside there. Absolutely. Probably why we're seeing a little bit of the after effects across the board. Look at the sort of moves that we're getting across the markets. Stop short of your TP. Well, that's a shame, but, you know, I don't think it's necessarily going to reverse all the way back higher. I mean, I say that, but weirder things have happened. Might just have to wait a little bit, see if anyone else kind of piggybacks the move. Obviously, as price starts climbing here, people are going to either jump off their short positions or they're going to look at it as a willingness to add in. And I think they'd probably look at it more as a willingness to add in, considering the fact that, you know, what happened last time is price fell from 152 down to 127, which is a 2,400 pip move. You know, if we had a similar thing again, but, you know, even if it's just to that 128 low, you know, whether that happens, though, we've obviously got different conditions. Obviously, the dollar's still strong at the minute. So you may want to look at yen play across other asset classes. So like I said, that CAD yen would have been ideal, really, for that sort of short into the 108. Just didn't get the chance to trade that, obviously. Big moves. Right then, guys. We go for about 50 minutes now, so I'll probably end the live stream here. Let me know if you have any further questions as usual, but I'm probably going to call it there. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for all your comments, questions. Hope you had a good trading day. Obviously, BOJ intervention is going to be a big talking point across the markets now, so be careful with your sort of trades and opportunities. But if you can leave the stream a like, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And thank you for joining me today. I will catch you in the next one very, very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Blueberry Markets YouTube channel. And yeah, I will speak to you soon. Have a great day, guys. Cheers.